Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel and to another video. Are you tired of getting absolutely crushed by the Command Spire boss? Well, luckily for you, I'm going to break down exactly how you can easily defeat this boss and show you exactly what weapons you need, as well as what tactics I use to defeat him easily. And as soon as you enter in this large room of the Command Spire, this is exactly where he's going to spawn. And what you're going to want to do is just grapple across to the front. And I like to stay over here to this right side. He's going to pop right up. And as soon as he pops up, you're going to want to start shooting him with the Sentinel Beam directly in one of his arms. And just like you saw right there, I was able to knock off one of his arms, then run away. Luckily for you, if you didn't end up bringing a Sentinel Beam in with you, there's actually one located on pretty much every weapon rack in this entire room. So just go to one of them, pick it up, and that's pretty much going to be the only weapon that you need for this boss battle. Now, just like the previous Spire mission, you will only be able to damage this boss when his arms or his main eye is glowing bright orange, which will only really happen right after he's fired his weapons at you, either his main eye weapon or his arms weapons. Now, once he has fired his main weapon or his arm weapons at you, they should start to glow orange just like right there. And what you want to do is just gate cover and then very quickly pick him off, deal some damage to his eye as he's down, and then just grapple away. Now you also want to be very mindful of, just like you saw a couple seconds ago, is he can actually drop the pillars that are all around you. So what you're going to want to do is try and position yourself where at least there's 2 pillars around you. So just in case he ends up dropping one of them, you can still find a spot to get some cover. Now once you've got a pretty good handle on that, another thing to keep an eye out for is that he's actually going to be spawning in sentinels pretty much every time you end up knocking off one of his arms or start damaging his eye. And when that happens, the Sentinels actually can be very useful at recharging your shields as well as granting you a checkpoint. Now what I found works best, because pretty much every one of these Sentinels is equipped with a shock rifle, is you want to try and basically zigzag in and out of cover. And when you do see one of the Sentinels, you want to shoot it with the Sentinel Beam until its shield drops, and then try and grapple into it, melee it to death, and then that way you'll be able to recover your shields and gain a checkpoint. You also want to use the large amount of space you've been given on this level to keep as much distance between you and the monitor as possible, just so you can't get easily picked off by him. Now I personally have found that the 4 diagonal corners of this room are probably the best spots to go, because there's actually 2 pillars on each side where you'll be able to take some cover even if he drops one of them. Now if any of the sentinels that are a very far distance, what I recommend you do is you essentially go very close to the side of the wall and actually use the orange marker that your grapple displays to target the sentinels, because I think one of the most annoying things about playing on lasso like I am is that when you're shooting the sentinel beam, you actually can't see the beam at all. You essentially just have to guess where it's shooting. There's really no visual indication at all of where the beam's going unless it's actually hitting something. And because of how far away a lot of these sentinels are half the time, you actually can't really see what it's hitting. So you're pretty much just shooting that sentinel beam blindly, hoping that you're actually able to hit something with it. Now the only real way that these sentinels will end up killing you is if you're out in the open with no cover at all, and they're able to actually just get a lock right in your head, especially on lasso, because that shock rifle will pretty much one-shot you every single time. Now if you're playing on a different difficulty, it might allow you to get away with a little bit more. However, if you're playing on Legendary or anything harder than that, you're really going to have a hard time with those sentinels if you're out in the open, just because of how quickly they're able to acquire your head and then just pretty much one-shot you every time. Now once you've pretty much made sure that there's no more sentinels around you, that's when you can finally start to take on this final boss. And once you've knocked off all of his arms, what you want to do is have him shoot that instant kill sentinel beam out of his eye at you, and once he fires that, then you'll be able to actually shoot him in the eye, and you'll see it kind of glows a brighter orange, and that essentially indicates that, you know, it's more vulnerable. And just like the other boss battle, the whole way you will know if you're actually damaging him or not is you'll kind of see that blue electric spark effect that kind of runs throughout his whole body. That's really the only indication you'll have if you're damaging him or not, because a lot of the time, if he hasn't recently fired his weapon at you, you actually won't be able to damage him at all. And it can be quite annoying if you don't know that, because I want to say the first time I played this on Legendary, I just kept shooting rockets at him. I was like, man, this boss is pretty strong. He's just taking rockets left and right and I can't do anything to him. But then eventually I figured out, oh, you can only damage him actually at certain times, and the rest of the time he's pretty much invulnerable. And just like that, a couple sentinel shots later, and he's toast. I hope this video was able to help you guys out, and if it was, comment it down below or ask me any questions you've got about the campaign, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.